let's be frank. India is a much larger country. India is a country with which the United States has much greater trade relations. India is a country in which the United States is interested as an ally that could challenge China's growing influence in that part of the world. But this conflict with India and Pakistan conflict has also shown one thing. It has also done one thing. It has exposed India's weaknesses. So now there are people, if you read the media or if you listen to just diplomats and others, while America was preparing India to actually counter China, but the war has proven that it failed to effectively counter Pakistan, which is obviously much smaller, not just in size, but in economy and also in military hardware. But Pakistan successfully defended itself and was also able to actually attack targets inside India. First of all, the latest news is that the delegation has been finalized, that Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is leading the delegation. It includes Shri Rahman, Anna Rabbani Khar, Tamina Janjua. These two are what they served here as ambassador. So they do have some experience in Washington. They're quite well known here. They have their contacts and everything. And then there is this foreign secretary who is apparently well connected because she served as the foreign secretary. And then Musaddiq Malik, who is the Minister for Environment these days, but he has been associated with various organizations in the US, so he knows the area well too. I think Khurram Dastagir and Barrister Bushra Bhatt, these two are relatively new in this field, but there are enough experienced people in this 9-member delegation to actually effectively convey Pakistan's message. Mr. Bhutto Zardari, Bilawal, he has served as foreign minister, and when he came here as a foreign minister, he left a good impression in Washington and also at the United Nations in New York. So these are all well-known faces. I see no problem in. I think that they should have no problem in meeting people. The embassy is busy trying to arrange their meetings, and they're likely to meet the Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is also the head of the National Security Agency, and so he's also the serving National Security Advisor. So they will meet him. They may meet other officials of the National Security Agency, and the National Security Agency and the National Security Advisor, they both work from within the White House. So meeting the Secretary, the Secretary of State, will be like a meeting with both U.S. Department of State and White House officials. So that is there. The delegation is arriving on the 1st, and they will reach. That is when they will reach New York. Then they have two busy days in New York. They'll be meeting the UN Secretary General, and then the President of the UN General Assembly, and they will also address a meeting of OIC ambassadors at the United Nations. Then they will fly to Washington on the 3rd of June. That is when, interestingly, that's when the Indian delegation is also expected to arrive in Washington. As you know, they came earlier. They spent 2 days in New York, and then they went to Guyana and other places mainly because the Congress is not in session. The Congress returns to Washington the 2nd of June, and both delegations are then arriving the day after it resumes its proceedings. That is the 3rd of June, which shows that both delegations are giving a lot of importance to Congress. So besides meeting these senior officials of the Trump administration, the Pakistani delegation also has chalked out a program to meet senior U.S. lawmakers, chairpersons of various committees like the Foreign Affairs Committee, the Subcommittee on South Asia, and other related lawmakers who have remain engaged with Pakistan or who have visited Pakistan and all. They will also meet U.S. senators, and there'll be other meetings too, like with U.S. think tank experts, scholars, and the media. Of course, the media is very, very important because this diplomatic war is being fought more in the media on the media turf than actually within the Trump administration, because both sides want to avail this opportunity to convey their message to the American people through the U.S. media. The embassy here has arranged several meetings with representatives from various media organizations. They will also have a joint meeting with a number of press reporters. So, and after that, I think they will stay here till the 6th of June, and then they will hopefully return to Pakistan, because I haven't heard about them returning, going to Europe or another destination. Perhaps they will not return to Pakistan. Perhaps they will go to London, because at least one source at the embassy said that they may actually go to London. It's not clear, but their visit to the United States concludes on June the 6th. See, look at it from this angle. For a long time, Pakistan was not front row in Washington. I mean, I will not say that Pakistan was being ignored, but Pakistan and the issues concerning Pakistan were not being discussed in the U.S. in the mainstream news media. They were not being discussed in U.S. think tanks, and definitely the U.S. administration also was not showing much of an interest in Pakistan and its concerns, particularly on Kashmir. I mean, Kashmir issue was still alive. Pakistan very much raised this issue wherever it could, but the international community was not paying much attention to this issue. What India has done is, by invading Pakistan the way it did, we surprised the entire international community. It has once again drawn their interest to India-Pakistan disputes, and particularly to the Kashmir issue. Before this, I mean, there were some friendly countries, and then UN ambassadors of OIC countries, the United Nations, China and its delegates. They did talk about Kashmir and other Pakistan's other disputes with India whenever they could, but it was not. It was on the back burner. By doing this, India has created an opportunity for Pakistan to talk about its differences with India, talk about the Kashmir issue, and now it is up to us how we avail this opportunity and how successfully we convey our message. The opportunity is there. People are interested. It's up to us to convey it. There is another very important point. That Pakistan has always argued that Kashmir is a nuclear flashpoint, that if it remains alive, the Kashmir issue, then there will always be the danger of the risk of the dispute over Kashmir leading to a conflict between India, an armed conflict between India and Pakistan, which can easily go nuclear. And this argument was, I mean, initially when Pakistan used to talk about it, the international community showed interest in this thing. They did show their concern. Obviously, nobody wants a nuclear war anywhere in the world. But then gradually, this faded away, and the focus shifted to other issues like Gaza, like the war in Ukraine, etc. But now the war has once again proved Pakistan's warning that Kashmir remains an issue, that it is an issue that should be resolved, and if not, then it can actually lead to a nuclear war in South Asia, which is one of the most populated regions in the world. So I think this also is a good opportunity for us to once again remind the world that, as we have always been saying, Kashmir remains a nuclear flashpoint, and Pakistan and the international community needs to get serious to resolving it. Let's be frank. India is a much larger country. India is a country with which the United States has much greater trade relations. India is a country in which the United States is interested as an ally that could challenge China's growing influence in that part of the world. So those positions stay where they are. India is still a very large country, still has a very large economy. India is still next to China. America is still interested in containing China's influence. So India will continue to remain a major place of interest for the Americans. But this conflict with India and Pakistan conflict has also shown one thing. It has also done one thing. It has exposed India's weaknesses. So now there are people, if you read the media or if you listen to diplomats and others, while America was preparing India to actually counter China, but the war has proven that it failed to effectively counter Pakistan, which is obviously much smaller, not just in size, but in economy and also in military hardware. But Pakistan successfully defended itself and was also able to actually attack targets inside India. So it has exposed India's military weaknesses. I would also be having second thoughts about India's ability to actually confront and defeat China. India will not accept third-party mediation. But by suspending the Indus Water Treaty, India has also provided Pakistan with an opportunity to caution the Simla Agreement that actually requires both parties to resolve their differences bilaterally. So Pakistan is now free to go and raise this issue, Kashmir issue and other issues with America anywhere it wants, number one. But still, as I said, given India's size and India's influence, it will continue to refuse to bring a third party into its disputes with Pakistan. And now it is up to us to convince the international community that, look, when the Indians say that they will resolve these issues bilaterally, they do not mean that. Basically, they say that, yeah, they will resolve it with Pakistan, but they never hold discussions with Pakistan on this issue. They always find one excuse or another for not holding talks with Pakistan, saying that, alleging Pakistan of carrying out terrorist attacks in India, alleging Pakistan of doing this or doing that. One way or another, they find a dispute not to engage Pakistan in a serious discussion over anything. Therefore, there is no option but for the international community but to get involved and help resolve this issue. So I think we are in a strong position, but we should not forget the fact that India is a much larger country with a stronger influence, a much larger economy, and Washington still has a lot of interest in India. So we have, the delegation that is coming as a huge task. What they want to do will not be easy. It is doable, but it's not easy.